Last week, the entire gaming world stopped breathing. Ubisoft, the titan, the franchise factory, stopped trading on the stock market. They delayed their earnings call, minutes before it even began. Panic mode activated. Was this the end? Was it a secret sovereign buyout? Was Tencent finally fully swallowing the entire corporate beast? Was the company collapsing from the inside? Today, we're cutting through the noise. We're breaking down exactly what happened, why this delay was the biggest lie of the year, and how this moment is forcing Ubisoft to completely reshape its future, from AI-powered NPC slaves to the high-stakes gamble on the rumored Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. Strap in, this is the sarcastic truth. Let's go. The internet went nuclear. Tencent takeover, Ubisoft meltdown. Everyone thought the game pipeline broke. They thought Skull and Bones finally killed them. But the truth, bro? The truth is far more insulting. The reason they hit the emergency brake, requested a halt in trading, and sent everyone into a frenzy? It was an accounting mistake. Yeah, an accounting mistake. Specifically, an IFRS 15 revenue recognition error. The auditors, the silent assassins of the finance world, walked in and found that Ubisoft had been booking money, recognizing revenue, too early from two big partnership deals. They said, rewind the tape, redo the whole thing. And that correction? It was the single-tap headshot. It pushed their debt-to-EBITDA ratio above the bank limit. They didn't just break a window, they breached a debt covenant. That's a technical default. So, the trading halt? Not a sale, not a creative collapse, just financial housekeeping, serious enough to tell the entire global market, we messed up, please look away. Pathetic. When you break a covenant, the banks can demand their money back immediately. So what did Ubisoft do? They called in the cavalry, Tencent. They immediately took a huge chunk of that massive 1.16 billion euro Tencent investment and used it not for new studios, not for new IP, but for survival. They paid down about $286 million of loans just to get their leverage ratio back under the limit. It was an instant debt defibrillator. Crisis averted? Financially, yes. The company stabilized, the debt is lower, and the stock is trading again. But look closely. Net debt is still $1.15 billion. They just used the emergency funds to clean up their own mess. That cash wasn't free. It came with a price, the restructuring of their most important assets into Vantage Studios, where Tencent now has a 25% stake. You pay your debt, but you give away a piece of your soul. The market is stable, but inside the studio, it's a complete bloodbath. Ubisoft is on a $100 million cost-cutting mandate. And how do you save that kind of money, bro? You cut the humans. 1,500 layoffs. This isn't efficiency. This is a corporate sacrifice ritual to pay for an accounting error. And if that wasn't enough pressure, they capitalized their development costs. Listen up, gamers. This is the true danger. Because they treat their game development like a financial asset, if any major project, especially Assassin's Creed, slips its deadline, they are forced to take a multi-million euro financial write-down. In simple corporate gamer slang, if that Black Flag remake slips into the next financial year, Ubisoft takes a nuclear financial hit. The developers are working with a guillotine hanging over their heads. But here's the unexpected twist, the unexpectedness. Lost in this mountain of corporate trash is the fact that they had a phenomenal quarter. Bookings were up 39% year over year. They beat guidance by over $50 million. Why? Because the back catalog is cracked. The players are loyal. Assassin's Creed Shadows alone generated 211 million session days. That is pure, unadulterated player emotion carrying the entire company. Even the old titles like Siege and The Division 2 were on the rise. The players are doing their job, the devs are doing their job. But the finance department almost pulled the plug on the whole operation. The pressure is now focused entirely on Q4, early 2026. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time Remake is on the slate, Rainbow Six Mobile, The Division Resurgence, and then there's that one beautiful, terrifying line item, one unannounced title. Industry sources are practically screaming it. This is the Assassin's Creed IV Black Flag remake. This is the game that sells systems, the game that prints money, the low-risk bet that guarantees bookings. It's their lifeline. A full reimagining of the pirate sandbox updated with modern RPG mechanics. It's a high-priority, high-risk release because of that financial pressure. They cannot afford a delay. They just can't. The biggest bet, the real transformation, isn't the Black Flag remake. It's the mandatory injection of generative AI into every single workflow. CEO Yves Guillemot is calling this shift as big a revolution as the shift from 2D to 3D. Hype? Insane hype. But the reality? They are using AI, neo-NPCs, dynamic conversations, code generation, art production to offset those 1,500 staff layoffs. They are trying to replace human manpower with machine output. And that, bro, is terrifying. AI comes with technical debt, AI hallucinations, and the risk of turning a beautiful emotional narrative into a repetitive, soulless algorithm. They say human oversight will remain the narrative heart, but I'm watching the fear in the eyes of the remaining developers. They are being forced to race against the clock with an untested digital coworker, knowing that if the AI messes up, they take the blame. So, what does this whole circus actually mean? It was not a secret takeover. It was not a complete collapse. It was a strict, embarrassing accounting correction that triggered a debt breach, which Ubisoft fixed immediately using Tencent's cash. But what it also means is Ubisoft is restructuring everything. The Black Flag remake is real and dangerously risky. AI is now central to their survival. This is a reset year, not a collapse year. They are smaller, tighter, carrying a massive AI bet, and sitting on a high-stakes, must-hit release window. They traded 1,500 human jobs for financial compliance. So, what do you think? Is Ubisoft's AI strategy the inevitable future of gaming, or is it a desperate, soulless move driven purely by crisis? And are you still hyped for the rumored Black Flag remake? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button, and subscribe for the next time corporate greed and creativity collide. They fixed the spreadsheet, but they fractured the soul.